may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Walker versus Devost.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Mr. Walker, you claim the defendant led you to believe you fathered her son, Kamani, for an entire year, but just 6 months ago told you you are not the father and refuses to let you see him. You are here to prove that Kamani is your biological son. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Devost, you admit you allowed Mr. Walker to sign the birth certificate and led him to believe he is Kamani's father, but now you say he definitely is not his biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Devost, he hasn't seen your son in 6 months?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
The reason why you haven't seen my son in 6 months is because he is not the father.
That simple.
Yeah. I regret letting him sign the birth certificate, and I just feel I feel bad because I let him do it, but I just wanted to get the truth out today and just figure out he's not the father so I can get him off the birth certificate.
So you are certain he is not Kamani's biological father?
Yes.
And you feel that you have regret for allowing him to sign this birth certificate?
Yes.
But Mr. Walker, you are certain this is your biological child?
Yes, Your Honor, this is my son right here.
And so you had a relationship with him before?
Yes.
And then for the past 6 months, you have not seen him?
I haven't been allowed to see my son the last 6 months because Miss Devost claims that I am not the father.
But you're on the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor. I was there the whole time, the whole pregnancy, and there at the hospital.
Wow. And so you were here the day he entered this world?
Yes.
And you admit that, Ms. DeVos?
Yes, Your Honor.
Take me back to this relationship. How'd you all even meet?
We met when we was in foster care. We was like this group home setting for like older youth to live on their own independently. We met there, we became friends, and when I went away to school, we had lost touch or whatever, and then I came back, I don't know, somehow we got back in contact, and I was like over his house every day. It was like a getaway. We wasn't in a relationship, but it was a situation like we was together.
So it wasn't a committed relationship, but you spent a lot of time together?
Yeah.
And you were intimate?
Yes.
Did
Your
you
Honor.
use protection?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
When she first told me she was pregnant, I was excited, and I asked her if it was mine, and she said, yeah, you're the father.
She did?
Yes.
And so you asked her point blank, is this child mine? And she said, yes, you're the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. DeVos, do you remember that conversation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you tell Mr. Walker he was your child's biological father?
Yes, but at the time, I thought he was the father. He was the one I was with when the doctor actually, when I took the pregnancy test and then I got it confirmed by the doctor, he was the person I was with at the time.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter who you're with when the doctor tells you you're pregnant. It matters who you're with when the child is conceived.
Right.
Who were you with then?
I was with him and someone else.
Okay, so that's why we're here. So you admit you were also intimate with another person during the window of conception.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's the person you believe is Kamani's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Walker, take me to the point when you find out she's pregnant. What do you do?
When I find out that she's pregnant, I really just start to prepare myself mentally, and I also was just looking for work. I had 2 jobs at the time. I was really trying to just prepare myself for everything.
So
I know what it means to have a child. I didn't really have a dad growing up, and I grew up in the system, and I don't know. I like babies.
So this was your first child?
Yes, Your Honor.
And after going through a difficult time where you said you grew up in the system, in the foster care system, you were excited about being a father to a child, the kind of father you did not have.
Yes, Your Honor.
So throughout the pregnancy, were you there for her?
Yes, we were always living together the whole time.
Even when Kamani was born, you were living together?
Yes.
What do you have there?
I actually have the birth certificate that I signed when he was first born.
I'd like to see that. Jerome, will you hand me Mr. Walker's evidence, please? And so you were there.
Yes,
She
Your Honor.
told you it was your child and you lived up to what you were supposed to do. This is the birth certificate for Kamani Dominique DeVos Walker. He has your last name and you are listed as father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Willingly and voluntarily.
Yes, Your Honor.
As he was signing this birth certificate and being there for the child and going to doctor's appointments and witnessing the birth, Ms. Devost, you knew all the while that there was another possible father?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you had not shared it with him?
I was scared. Being a first-time mother, I went through the system too, and it's just, I just never wanted to tell him that it wasn't his because I knew the situation he'd been through, and it was just hard. I didn't want to go through it alone, and and when he stepped up to being here, he got 2 jobs and I couldn't work when I was pregnant because he was a big baby, and I couldn't hardly walk. I couldn't really do nothing. So when he stepped up, I just felt like, okay, he's doing the right thing, and maybe he might be the father. I don't know. So he just.
Oh. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
I didn't want to hurt him. Like, I already felt like I regret telling him, letting him go through with it, because when I looked at my son, after I got through my surgery and everything, after he seen my son before I did. After I looked at my son, I just knew, like, he been here all this long, but I can't turn back now, not to tell him that he's not the father. He been here the whole pregnancy, he was there, so I'm like, it's too late, it felt.
And so, like we have seen over and over and over again, when you tell a lie, you just have to keep telling more lies,
right,
and more lies and more lies. Because the truth is, you knew all the while there was another possible biological father. Mm-hmm. Did you tell that man you were pregnant or that the baby was born and he could potentially be the father as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what was his response?
His response was like no other. It was just, okay, if it's mine, I'll take care of it.
And so why is it you chose Mr. Walker instead of him? If he said, I'd take care of the child too, why did you make the choice of Mr. Walker?
My ex was in another city. He was in the same city as me. So it was just, he's here, he will help. He's the father.
So you really are telling the truth when you say you didn't want to do this alone. So you just chose the man that was closest to you and was ready to step up, so you would have someone to go through this process with. Mr. Walker, did you have any idea any of this was going on after you saw your baby come into the world? Where were you in this situation?
I really caught hold of the situation when she went out of town to a concert, and when she came back, a friend of hers inboxed me saying that I wasn't his father and that she's dirty.
So her own friends were coming and telling you, hey, this isn't your child.
Yes, friends, family members, my family members.
So take me to the moment where you found out from Ms. Devost that you may not be Kamani's biological father. When did she finally tell you that?
It was probably maybe around June.
It was May.
May, June, around one of those times. I believe we were arguing, and I also have some text messages to showing
You have more evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
Jerome, can you please hand me the evidence? And so, Mr. Walker, you're saying that as you would argue, whatever argument you'd be in as a couple, it would always come down to, well, you don't have any right to see Kamani, or you don't have any right in this situation because you're not his father?
Correct.
This is evidence of a conversation between you and Ms. Devost?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is a conversation via text?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so it says, you say you kicked me out with damn near no place to go. You wasn't thinking about our son or anything. Ms. DeVos, you write back, he's not your son. Then you respond, Mr. Walker, so as long as I'm on the birth certificate, I'm not going anywhere. You ruined my whole life. And Ms. DeVos, you respond, you're not his father. You ruined your own life. Wow. You cold-blooded. Because you told him he was the biological father.
Yes, I did. He had the option if he wanted to be there or not. I didn't beg or ask him to be there. He had the option.
Ms. DeVos, Now, I'll let you stand here thus far and state your testimony. Now, you sitting up here acting like Satan's sidekick in here talking about you ruined your own life. I didn't have nothing about it. Nobody told you to stay. What's going on? Because, see, I'm not going to let you go back too far from center. Now, you can come in here and tell the truth and say you made a mistake and you lied and you did something for your benefit and you were scared and you didn't want to be by yourself. But what you're not going to do is sit up here and convince me that, oh, he could have left. Why? He could have left a baby that he thought was his biological child. He could have repeated a cycle that has affected him and you, and that's why both of you all connected on that level, because you both were in a system where no child should ever have to spend their life. Let's be honest. It's okay if you just want to say, I made a mistake, I did the wrong thing, and after I did it, but do not look at this man and say, you could have left. You ruined your own life. When you know you put this scenario in motion. Did you ever do a paternity test with the other man?
No.
You haven't?
No.
So how are you certain he's the child's biological father?
He looks just like him. They got family members that look identical too. So it's just given like that's his father.
Despite that, you still allowed Mr. Walker to believe for the first 8 months of Kamani's life he was the child's biological father.
Yes.
Don't you think it's a little unfair that even though you say you had a conscience and you just couldn't do it anymore and it was eating at you, it's almost as if you don't understand that the day you got done with the lie, it was almost like, okay, I'm done with this lie. This lie has served me. Now it's getting on my nerves. I'm going to tell the truth. Now you just want him to let loose. Like, okay. But do you understand now he's so invested in the child.
Right.
He still understands that there's a possibility he could be the child's biological father. So now he's not letting go.
Right.
Is that true, Mr. Walker? My assessment of your position?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so now for the past 6 months, you've been without your son.
So you haven't contacted me, asked me to see Kamani none of the time. Since May when you left, you haven't contacted me. So that's why. There's no one's in Kamani's life. I'm the only person, me and a family member is in Kamani's life. It's somebody else.
After all that, this other guy is not a full-fledged father in Kamani's life?
Because he can't be there. We in 2 different cities. My son, he talks to him over FaceTime, via video chat him all the time, every day if he get a chance to. He's that, like he know who he is, but he's not.
And Kamani is 14 months old now. When he sees your ex, he refers to him as daddy?
Yes.
Did you know that, Mr. Walker?
No, I didn't, but around the time that I left the house, he was already getting ready to start saying dada to me. So, I don't know.
No, he wasn't.
You say no, he wasn't.
He wasn't even talking then. All he knows is me, so it's fine.
That's what you think. There's a reason why when you are pregnant with a child that they tell the mother and the father to talk to the child so that the child gets to know the mother and the father's voice. Mm-hmm. So that when that child comes out the womb, that voice he's heard, those vibrations he's felt, that happens in the real time, in the real world. There's a reason why we do those types of connections when we're having babies. So you're not gonna tell me that Mr. Walker hasn't been there all that time, been talking to that baby, rubbing the stomach, kissing the stomach, having a conversation, and then the baby come out, and now you tell me he don't know nobody but me.
He don't.
No. That's what makes you more comfortable with what you have done. Mr. Walker, have you prepared yourself?
Yes, I have. If he has his biological father that's going to be in his life, I'm not about to play a second role, stepdaddy or nothing like that if he's not even my blood or anything. So if he's not mine, guess she moving on with her little family or whatever.
And I can see that hurts you very much to say. I think we've heard enough. It's time for the results. Jerome? Thank you.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Walker versus Devost, as it pertains to 14-month-old Kamani Devost Walker, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Walker, you are not the father.
I'm sorry. I'm sincerely sorry.
I'm sorry, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry I couldn't give you the news you wanted, Mr. Walker. You have been a stand-up guy in this situation. For that, you should be very proud of yourself. Now, with that said, you've signed an acknowledgement of paternity. There is also no guarantee when you go home to your home state that the court will remove you from that birth certificate. I cannot guarantee that. So we have to get this worked out, okay? If you need help from this court, you let me know. If you need to have another test with the man you believe is Kamani's biological father, this courtroom is here for you, because sometimes having the absolute clarity is what you need to be able to move forward. And we're not gonna let this cycle repeat itself and allow the father figure to be stolen from his life, right?
Yes.
The way it was from yours. And you're in charge, okay? Go talk to Dr. Jeff. You young people, I'ma check on you. All right?
All right.
I wish you the very best. Court is adjourned.